Mitrom and Bandhu, welcome to South Asia Maps. South Asia Maps is the education channel, intellectual Chatriya's channel. This is your presenter, Dr. J. Reddy. Apart from my professional work of agriculture, crop breeding, and molecular biology and bioinformatics, I have passion to understand the human civilization at global level that covers a broader aspects. Since 1977, I started dabbling into that and doing that. In this channel, education channel, I would like to share my passion and whatever knowledge I have accumulated. The uniqueness of this channel, Mitronam, is all the concepts of the diverse fields of Indology, human ecology, etc., will be brought into a iconographic form in the form of maps, images, pictures. That is all the abstract concepts into this. The advantage being they will be easily etched into your mind. You need not spend much time to understand them. Apart from that, we are continuing part 27 of our population series, or population explosion on the planet Earth. Mitruna, the, the topic of today's discussion is the population pump at global level. That means every year 80 million net humans are pumped to the planet Earth. That is the point of discussion today. You see, this is the pump we just icon represents. Think like in villages in Bharat, we'll have water pump like a boring pump like that, where you pump and you will propel the water out of the underground. So this is the population. It is a pump, and we represent this is the population pump. This small icon human being, imagine like a 10 million a piece, and we have 4 here. 4 means 8 multiplied by 10 is 80 million. This pump, a population pump, demographic pump, is pumping a net. This is the net, means after the deaths are taken into account. That part will come later in the series. So you have the entire planet Earth. Currently, it has 8,000 million people, that is 800 crore people in Indian terminology, or 8 billion people. To be more precise, is 8.1 billion people, that we are not taking into that serious aspect here. In addition to that, every year you are going to add 80, 80, 80. That means in a decade you will add a net 800 million people. What is the implication of that? You have to understand. So we will look at that after this presentation. You will get a very great clarity about that. Mitronam, this is the population series. You are aware, and population explosion series, or population explosion series at South Asia maps, and we are in part 27, that is the population pump global level 80 million net. That word net is very very critical per year. And all these presentations, Mitronam, you can find at South Asia Maps JRD YouTube channel. There are around about 608 or so videos as of 2024 September. And these are the playlist. I have partitioned them or binned them into 65 to 70 playlists. You can go and look at the topic of your interest and choice, South Asia Maps JRD. This is the same thumbnail with a little more details, more or less. And where do you I got this information? Remember, if you look at various sources, you will get a slight difference. So that the difference comes what year base they have taken 2020 or 21, 22, 23. Sometimes they have an estimate of coming year or so on. So there will be certain minute differences. Even in my presentations, in the previous presentations, you may notice that. So you have to keep that mind. You need not be unduly concerned about that. They're more or less same. We are giving a broader perspective to you here. Global population machinery pumps net 80 million per year. This year, next year, how long it can pump. So here you see how we got into this calculation. See, this is the mid India net something. I will show you other place. They have given birth rate, they have given death rate. So this is per year 146. Remember, these are six digits, means a million. 146 million people are born and 57 million people died. So if you subtract 57 from 146, that will be 89. Our title is only 80. Why it is 89? Here in other presentation, that is 80. So that's why I caution that you can take these things in a very lighter pinch. We are looking at a broader idea. Here we are looking at the same. Let's say this is they have given the solid numbers. Every year 146 million are born total. 57 million people pass away. The net is 89. So we'll come to the this different conclusion here. You say 185, 18.5 births for 1,000 people. Let's say you have a village, there is 1,000 people in that village. Every year you see round about 18 births, 18.5 births. Every year almost you see in that village an average global level 7.8 deaths for 1,000 people. That means always think about this village with 1,000 people. A net means net addition of humans, Homo sapiens, is around about 10.7. So here I don't know, I maybe rounded it up, whatever it may be, 10.8 net birth. This is the crude birth, this is the crude death, this is the net difference. So if you say 10.8 for 1,000 people, and that means you just make it 10 instead of take away point 0.8, so you get 1,000 people per 1,000. Instead of 10, make it add a million, 10 millions for 1,000 million people, 1,000 people, 1,000 million people. Remember, there are 8 times of that population, right? 8,000 million people on the earth. So you just multiply with 8. So you got it very easily. So if you remember the birth rate for 1,000 people and death rate, you get a difference of 10.8. That is for 1,000 people. For 1,000 million people, you get 10 million people. For 8,000 million people, you get 80 million people. That what it is very easy to remember. So this population pump on the planet Earth every year is pumping 80 million people net. 80 million people net. And this is the again the I think the same from a different perspective of different. See, in this, they have given the world meters and they have taken the pop yearly changes round about, let's say 1.05%. Let's consider 1%. That means for 100 there is a rise of 1, for 1,000 there is a rise of 10. Remember, instead of 1,000, you have 8,000. That means there is a rise of 80 or 81, 82 again. Just they are broadening the information. So whatever the source you take, you will essentially come to the same conclusion. Before the start of the agriculture, there is 8 million people on the planet Earth. Now there are 8,000 million people on the planet Earth. We are in the industrial farming, industrial agriculture era, and this is the statistics times.com. That information is taken out. are we talking about, Mitrana? We are talking about you take this is the planet Earth. Think is a sphere, a globe, zero. See, here I have put one that globe here, one more that globe here, that becomes 8. That is 8 million people were there before agriculture started at around about 8000 BC. That means if you take now we have 2000 after Anno Domino, modern time, 10,000 years back to 8 million people. Now you have 8,000 million people. If you put one more here, again a sphere, you have 80. So that's the easiest way you can remember. Just to remember the sphere 0, put one top of the each other, that is the 8, and put one more next to each other, 80. 80 million people per year per annum are pumped at global level on the planet Earth. That means, let's say you started around about 2020. That means 2030, you will get 800 more million people. In 2003, that was 8,000. That means 2023, 8,000 million. That means 2033 or 35, 2035, 36. In that range, you will get the ninth billion people. That is extremely frightening for people who study the humans, especially now we have Homo colossals, means giant resource consuming humans on the planet Earth. Mitranam, if you look at our that series, that YouTube channel, and I have put a lot of other presentations, you can go and look in demography or I can say population, you will get a lot of different perspective at global level. The concept of the population explosion, you should look at it and you will get a deeper and broader aspects. The Khyber to Kamrup, 80 million people. That is on this particular day, that is November 15th, 2022, the planet Earth crossed. That means it crossed 8,000 million people. That is the population day in Bihar and in Rajputana. So I have posted a lot of other presentations. You can look at it, different provinces and global level. So what did we look at today? So this is the see here if you go to this world war meters, this is the current population. Is a meter means runs every time. And this year, births 90, deaths 42. The difference should be around about 45 or so. We said 80, right? Why only 45? Means we are in September 3rd or 4th today. That means still there are 3 or 4 months. So by that time, you will get close to the population growth per this. The growth is 47. Instead of 47, you should be seeing around about 80. In that range, maybe 75, sometimes 82. That is not that critical. That's again different. Again, you can stop here and you see this place. It outputs the essentially the same thing. Here they are telling the same thing in the population. You can go and look at that. See here, 120 million, the deaths per year. We are talking about 2027. You see here, 2023 deaths per year is expected to be 62 million. So how do you remember? Very easy. You remember there is a week has 7 days. Instead of that, think about 70. 70, 70 is like 140. That is the crude births per year. 140 units, 140 million. Among which you take away 70. That is 1 week, 770. You get only 70, right? Make it round about little bit 80. That means you get it 80 million net births population pumps on the planet Earth. We see we have only one planet Earth. This has around about 150 million square kilometers. That means if you repartition the entire territory, you will get around about the size of 150 countries size of Misr, that is the Egypt and Mediterranean. That is 1 million square kilometers. That means right now it has around about 8100 million people. So every year you are pumping a population of 80 million. 80 million, what are the population? Bharat is 1400, little more. Then you have China, then United States. 80 will be Egypt and Ethiopia used to be 80 million. That was like 10th rank at maybe 10 years back. Now they're pushed a little higher or lower. 80 essentially means it will be a 14th or 15th ranking populous country on the planet Earth. We have around about 150 or so real big countries, not counting Singapore, Hong Kong, Macau, those the many tiny states or city states. That was I wanted to tell today about the fascinating population pump. Remember this pump and 80 million net per year. What are the implications for human civilization? So, any discussion without mentioning the population in socio-political discussions will be trivial, or I can say have no meaning. This is a very critical part that we should keep in mind. Thank you very much for joining me today, Mitruna. And if you like these presentations, and you can post your comments or any opinions, and even you can bring it to the notice of your friends and even subscribe the channel. Thank you very much, Dr. J. Reddy, South Asia Maps. And we will see you in the next presentation, that will be areas, population densities of the once mighty empire on the planet Earth, Britannia, British Empire, that is the British Isles. We look at them. Thank you very much.